Hello, everyone. Happy Friday, November 17th. How is everyone doing? Let's see who's here. Richard, good morning. Patrick, happy Friday to you too. Good morning. Sterling. Dropbox and NVIDIA team to bring personalized generative AI, degenerative AI to millions of customers. Fantastic. Hey, Jacob, good morning. What else do we have? Good morning, Royal Palms. You got some building permits in there, housing starts, which of course came out at 7:30 Central this morning. We got some Fed speaky going on, a bunch of the morning. And then we just got rig counts. Rig counts. Hey, Anissa. I never thought I'd see the day that U.S. Treasuries trade like meme stocks. They have been on a wild ride. Yeah, the volatility in the treasury markets, it's crazy. I remember some massive volatility in 91 and in 97, but this has been this has been I mean, I don't know, you don't normally have this kind of volatility. Let's just put it that way. So, sort of a quiet day besides Fed speak today. I don't know what they're going to say about anything. And remember, next week is a shortened trading week. Remember. So, this morning we have sort of a mixed with the mega caps. Oil bouncing a little after hitting the next key level. Oil stocks bouncing. Applied materials getting absolutely crushed after a beat earnings. Getting absolutely crushed. This is the kind of market now. It's run up and then stuff is just getting smackaroonied. So today we got, come on, really, real estate. We got real estate, energy, financial, healthcare. So more of the risk off things, but still a sort of an overall positive, except for comm services this morning. Sort of positive. We'll take a look at what I'm specifically watching. Fed Watch. Odds of the cut happening in March now are climbing bit by bit, but I'm doubting that. And we just have a pause December and January. Fear and greed up on the upper end of neutral and greed. So that's where that stands. Again, I already talked about applied materials beat yesterday, but then the major gap lower. That's all I really looked at. And today I haven't looked at anything. It's not much in terms of earnings. I'm just closing it down. Closing it down for Friday. All right. What do we got in the S&P? Well, we do have a potential double top. It would take a fair amount of selling to get it to trigger today, but we'll see. Now, I have two sets of harmonics on here to the upside. We've already broken out of the pullback channeling flag pattern, rotating up enough to make a double top. 45.0175 on at least a 4-hour closing basis is key. Let's just take a look on you can technically do it if you want to be a little more aggressive. I am not aggressive on Fridays. I would rather, if it did trigger, try to get in something on a Sunday night / European session Monday. But that's the key. That's the only reversal pattern. And where does that take us potentially? And it might never trigger because so far this has been the pause so far. Still massively overbought. Cycles at the top on the daily. What's interesting is we're getting to cycles next week. We're going to have some top area, and that would only take us back into the rotation zone on the daily. Okay, it wouldn't even wipe out CPI Tuesday. So keep that in mind. It's just that would be now. Could it unfold into more? Sure, but remember overall, until we start getting to back below 4,400. That's where we'll start doing some technical damage, at least on the bull side in the short term. And you see here, we're going to close another week up after a strong recovery up here. We've hit the 75, so we do have, on that weekly basis, we do, and I'll have to flip it to the other side, but I wonder where this goes. I wonder how this works. I didn't look at and it is valid. even on the full thing. So we'll keep an eye. I mean, major would be now this 41, 22, 25. You get a weekly close below there. Watch out below. But until that happens, we're a long way off now. If we do break out and validate the double, here's the levels I have up here. So I have the forward harmonics from the low on the 9th to the pausing bar on the 15th on the 4-hour time frame, and I have the reverse harmonics. So if we run up a little into the open, 45.46 and 45.51, the next significant level, remember, even with this pullback, I'd still, probabilities favor, we could still push higher to this 45.70 area, but the level right in front of that is 45.64.75. Good morning, options 22. What's this of making modem chip? What's the modem chip? I mean, are we talking 128 baud? What are we talking? Boy, I dated myself with that one. Remember the dial-up modems to get on, like back in the 90s, where you'd get you could hear the sounds going on. Oh man, I got a 256 baud modem. I'm on the latest technology. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you're a lot younger than me. So that's the two things I'm keeping an eye on. Other than that, my thing on Fridays, as everyone knows, is don't lose money. If you get a valid trade set up, you take it, but make sure you manage your stops. And I mean, from all my trading results, Friday is always, has historically been, I can't say always, has historically been the worst trading day of the week, year in and year out, for the kind of stuff I do. Minor rotation up in the NASDAQ, but the NASDAQ's really, really weakening. Daily 4-hour cycle starting to roll over. Daily cycle's not yet rolling over. The key things, if we don't have a double top, but I'd be looking today if we really break down from first target would be yesterday's open right around 15,847, and then the low 15,797, and then roughly the key support zone 15,733 to 15,669 is a key support zone. Other than that, unless things get overly strong tick or weak tick, I'm going to stay in a choppier mode today. Let's see what I figured what they were talking about with the modem. I haven't, have not seen it, so I do not. Unfortunately, all too familiar with what you're talking about. See, Patrick knows about those old modems. Boy. Dow, we had the little spike up through the next minor harmonic level. Those were from the reverse harmonics, which is now over. If we really break above the next key major level in the Dow, let me get to that daily chart. The next major level is 35, about 420. But the Dow's also cycle top, overbought. I sound like a broken record every day right now. There's no double in the Dow, so the key breakdown point is about 34,880. And then I'd watch the daily rotation zone. And the next major level is 34.7. 34.855 is the minor level. To the upside, don't have much. I got to raise these levels now. We've hit we had the harmonic and the next minor levels. I'm going to about 32.250 and then 35.400. The Russell, remember, the Russell's so far the weakest. Yesterday, I said I was looking at that for short setups, and we, sort of weak and then a bounce. But rolling over again, the Russell is the first thing I will look at for short setups. No double there yet, but the harmonics, if we did break through Thursday's lows, 170, 1762, 1753 and a half, and you're also in a clear path move with the eventual target could be down to 1712. To the upside and still use the retracement harmonics. So you start getting price action above 1805, 1813, then 1821. VIX, still no fear. No fear in the markets whatsoever. Still keeping an eye on 1450. The DAXI, still climbing. Still climbing to a very key zone I'll be watching next week, the 16,000 to 1650. Other than that, the pullback level right now, about 15,850. The notes hitting the next minor harmonic and reversing, and still in a flagging channel pattern, but that's really about it. Key support coming in now at 108.12. Above this, if it does break, and I'm not expecting it to break above today's highs, but 109.20 and a half technically. Starting to get to a potential bottoming formation down here in the notes. If we do break below the pre-market lows, we're looking at about 4.33 yield. But this is really key, getting this. Why am I on that? What did... Hey. See, I wanted this. Stop. There we go. Ugh. All right, I'm back. We'll have to see. This closed yesterday, still in the range, not closing below the 62.5 yet. Dipped below it earlier and a bounce back of it. So I'm still watching 4.4 on a closing level. But I'm also focusing on if we hold this level for a more of a bounce pattern, maybe next week, but there's no strong setup just yet. 10-2s, rolling over again. So not anything to talk about there. Dollar index, keep an eye on this. If you're a dollar, you see this buying pressure, some tails coming in here. Now, we don't have a valid double bottom, but you get above about 104.20. You could see a pretty quick run to potentially 104.50 and then 105 area. So keep that in mind. If we do break below this buying pressure, we have some more selling. The 200 and the next harmonic is coming in about 103 to 103.15 to 103.20. Crude hitting the next target on the head and shoulders and pausing right here. So any rally, I'm looking for another rollover play because we don't have a strong bottoming formation just yet. So that's where that sits. Gold, not yet in double top territory. Still, cycles getting a topping area, not yet overbought, but I'm watching for some kind of rollover play setup. Another push down to establish a longer term low again. Yen coming down here to that 50 and then bouncing. Now, if we come back down, close below this, I'm watching for the bigger pullback, but that has not happened yet. So far on the daily, let's look at this on the weekly. This is still virtually a sideways correction. So keep an eye on that going into next week. The euro, you can see some selling pressure up here. We're in a horizontal channel with a triple top. Breakdown is about 108.20. Breakout is about 108.80. So those will be the levels I'll be watching. But again, don't lose money today. Please. Spiders, trading 451.07. Remember, still the key target is 453 area for the 87.5 rule and the prior little top from the 1st of September. On a rollover today, we're trading 451.15. 450.23 would be key. And then the next key area I will be focused on is at right around 449.25. We break below that. Again, I'm expecting a choppier day unless we get a really strong or weak tick. But the next level below that, 448.12. And then 450.50. You break below 450.50, then we're getting into bigger pullback territory. But anything on the rally, my only target is 450, just above 453. The Qs, which trading 385.76 on any rally. 385.95 is key, and then you got 387.25, and then you have 389.40. My breakdown level is still about 383.60. Start breaking below that, I'll start watching for the bigger pullback. What else do we have? Bitcoin. I haven't looked at that in a bit, but yes, it is on the chart. The daily double top is on the chart. Well, I have looked at it, I just haven't highlighted it in the stream. But that needs a close below 34,758. There's been a lot of shenanigans with stable coins again. Just keep that in mind too. It looks like they're pumping it up for another big selling pressure, but that would be the tipping point. Tesla, Elon in hot water about his retweets, which we're not going to talk about because it brings, every time I bring up Elon, it brings too many issues. So 225 is the next key support area. I'm still in bearish mode longer term. Other than that, on a gap, we're getting a gap down, it looks like, slightly today. So 233.59, and then resistance about 240 again. NVIDIA, still not much to talk about with NVIDIA. Let's take a look at Apple, Sterling. I'll have to look into that modem chip stuff. Apple. Not really much to talk about. I mean, you have this, not my favorite double formation because of the stair step down, but it's hit the first target. Next target is still 193.38. The market's still in rah-rah mode, so 193.38, 197.06. Happy Friday, George. So, I'm old enough to remember dial-up internet, AOL chat rooms. You've got mail. Yep. And there's a movie, Even You Got Mail. Oh, I was never on AOL. I was on the some of the old boards in the day. If anybody remembers the old boards, there were a lot of nice little hacker boards that were fun. The white hat, black hat boards. If anybody remembers those, but I was never on AOL. Or remember CompuServe? I was never on CompuServe either. So, but I had an old Earthlink dial-up account. Wow, this brings back memories. I confess I relapsed and took a small degenerate trade yesterday. You could always have I'll call it the gambling account, which should be a very, very small account if you want to. It's like if you go to Vegas, it's your throwaway money. You don't care. It should not affect your lifestyle. It should not affect your trading at all. So if people sometimes want to do something like, hey, I just want to take a shot at something, have a little, that's fine. But don't make it a part of your major trading or investing assets. It's toss away. It's like, hey, I want to take a shot at something. Or you know what? This is a micro cap that I want to do something with. That I don't have a problem. It helps. It can help some people. It's like the go out, the buddy drinking money. It should not affect your lifestyle. If it starts affecting your lifestyle, then you have bigger issues to deal with. But this is the place we hold people accountable. So GOEV. GOEV. What is the GOEV? Canoe? Consumer? What does this company do? I know it's consumer durables, motor vehicles. You sold puts. Clinches major contract with primetime shut. I don't know anything about the wow. Ooh. Better hope for something in here. I guess you don't have that much risk because all it can do is go to zero. Remember, all-time lows can go lower, Sterling. I'll have to look up. I don't know anything about that, but all-time lows can go lower. Oh, that is an ugly chart. That is ugly. All right, we'll see how that works out. At least it's with the gambling money. All right, everyone, have a fantastic trading day. There's not much left for me to talk about. I'm just not going to do stupid today. I'm actually going to take it pretty easily. A family member had surgery yesterday. I'm still having to deal with Moses, the dog that's slowly passing. He decided he wanted to eat. I went out and bought a bunch of fillets for him. And now he will eat a fillet. I sous vide, then sear the fillet, and he'll eat one of those every night. So he gets enough energy. And he hasn't said he wants to leave yet. And he's went on 3 mini walks yesterday in the front yard. So he's still hanging in there a bit, but it's just day by day. So I'm dealing with family stuff and dog stuff, and I'm exhausted. With that, so when also from my perspective is when I am in that state, I really make sure I don't do stupid in the markets, because being overtired and having emotional stress or stuff hanging over can lead to very poor decisions, at least for me. So I can only roll. I mean, I've seen it with other people too. So remember, you don't have to trade every day. You can wait for the bigger setups. You can take a week off. You can do whatever you need. Just make sure you have an account to return to, so don't do anything silly. All right. Well, thank you, Sterling. Prayers for Moses. Thank you, Anissa. Hey, Ken. Visa near Visa. We'll take a look at Visa for Ken. Got out of Autodesk. Iron. Fantastic, Richards. Congratulations. Visa near all-time highs. Let's take a look. Visa ears near all-time highs. Finished the 87.5 rule. That's going to be a very, I don't like that, but it does have, that's the only thing I'd watch on a monthly basis. If on a monthly basis, that's a monthly double. That's, ooh, and it will show up on the weekly again. I don't think I have it set there, but there's, other than that, you have a little minor top here on the daily. It's a sloppy. So, but I'd be watching this key low at 227.78. Other than that, if it does keep marching higher, because unless that triggers, I would not be overly shorting unless I got another short signal, which there is not any divergent signal just yet. There's some waning momentum, but there's not a divergent signal yet. So, and by the way, if it does break above 252.67, we have 262.43. Now, if we get poor Black Friday, Cyber Monday results, which isn't as much of a thing, but it's more like that weekend now. If we get poor results for that and the retail starts a little crumbling in the holiday season, you could definitely see a rollover in Visa. If in the minor sense, if this starts dropping back below 243, it gets very aggressive to the downside. All right, I will leave it. Thank you for tuning in, Ken. I hope you are doing fantastic. At some point, give me an update to everything that's going on with you and how you are doing. And with that, I shall talk to everyone later. Bye for now.